family, figgity fam. What's good with everybody? Hold on. Let me scroll up, make sure I catch everybody. STD, you a new member? You've been a member forever, bro. Strategic work. Salute. Questions laughing. Okay, well, let's see. Hey Shayna, what's good? What's good with you, Thomas? What's happening? Jason Ewing in the building. Gina, hey you. How you doing? Oh my goodness. Strategic work. Salute. Grand OSO. 0S0. Fam. What's good, everybody? Willie, salute. Give some time for everybody to get in the building. Thomas said it's getting. Hold on, let me get that. Face all, salute. OG Tank, salute. All right, fam. So look, little housekeeping. We got a couple of giveaways tonight. Major Havoc, salute if I miss you. 1911 Nighthawk, salute. Jace, that's coming next. Ronald Woodman, salute. Dennis Dixon, salute. So look, fam, just a couple housekeeping. We got a couple giveaways this evening. As you guys know, if you didn't see the video that just aired right before live, make sure you go back, check it out. I talked about Olight 18th anniversary. And Olight has been a supporter of this channel, fam, when I had less than 1,000 subscribers. I mean, like early on in my channel's evolution. And so we're celebrating the 18th anniversary. So we got a couple of Olight giveaways. So the first thing we're going to be giving away is this Olight Baton 4 Premium Edition. If you guys haven't seen the video, make sure you go back out. So this is going to be one of the giveaways. I'm thinking this is probably going to be the member giveaway. And of course, I'll include 2A NLA patch and backpack. And then I think for the non-member giveaway, we're going to give this Olight Duran pocket knife away. So whether you're a member or not, everybody has an opportunity to win tonight. My man Jason brought up Arm 4 is coming. Arm 5 is coming in short order. And so I will definitely be there. If you guys are unfamiliar with it, make sure you check out a regular meetup. My guy, Regular Gun Guy, throws this event. This is the 5th annual. There is a meet and greet, a women's conference, a range day, an award show. It's going to be off the chain. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to bring a couple of high-end firearms with me for you guys to be able to check out and shoot. So if you guys can make it, it's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia this year. Try to come through, fam. Bobby Taylor, salute. See if I missed anybody. CK Kevin, salute. What's good with you, fam? I think I said what's up to Ronald Woodman and Dennis Dixon. Can't wait to see you either, sis. For real. Been too long because I missed last year because I was traveling. But I'll definitely be in the house this year. Tickets have been booked. Hotel is reserved. So I'll definitely be in the house. All right. I said Grand OSO, what's up? Salute, my man. Salute. Cartwright, the Road King. What's good with you, fam? What's good? Okay, so look, check it. Are there too many 2011s? Now, this is going to sound crazy coming from me, considering I got over 35 of them, and by the end of the year, I'll have well over 40. But here's what I would say, fam. Usually, I would tell you that competition lifts all boats, right? The more competitors that are coming into the market, typically speaking, that means that it will result in lower prices for people because there's more competitors. But I've got some concerns here because this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing competitors come in at the entry level point, that kind of $1,500 and less. A lot of guns are entering into the market there. My concern has always been about those guns that, and I think it was more true uh, a while back than now, is that a lot of people, are you getting what you're expecting from these entry level firearms? A lot of people want a 2011 because it is, the racking is silky smooth, the trigger is feathery, it shoots light, and all of that, right? It's milled, the gun will last a long time, all metal construction usually, right? And when guns at the entry level first kind of came on the scene, I was not seeing that. But I will say that companies like Fusion Firearms and Alpha Foxtrot and others have come along to produce what I consider to be, specifically for the price point, really good guns. Really, you're getting really good value for your money. So I'm okay with that. I've also seen a few more entries to like that entry level, that kind of 2,500 to 3,500 space. There's a couple more players who are there, but not a lot. I've seen a ton of entries into the kind of mid-tier space, that kind of 3,500 to 5,500. Lots of new entries to players there. And more recently, I'm starting to see new players enter in to that 6,000 and up in that high end space. So look, this is my concern, fam. And this is my concern for you guys as consumer. John Gray, salute. Stephen Barnes, salute. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody else. Mr. Bullshitter, salute. So look, fam, let's kind of take it segment by segment, right? For people who are coming in at $6,000 and up, if I would be very leery of any company that does not have a long-standing reputation entering in to that high-level upper market space, that kind of $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. When you're paying that kind of money for a gun, that's an heirloom gun. That's something you're going to be passing down generation to generation. You want to make sure that there is going to be support available for that firearm. And can other people, gunsmiths, work on those guns for you? Sure. But from a warranty perspective, I'm not paying, me personally, I'm not paying $6,000, $7,000 for a gun that may not be here in a year from now or 2 years from now. I'm good. So if I'm you guys, I would take that into consideration. Yeah, CK Kev, he's saying what I'm saying. That high end too, you got to be careful, got to make sure they're around in the future. 100%. 100%. And so now, I just say do your homework. Originally, a lot of people, you guys may have seen that I've done a couple of drops on the Cardinal. And while the Cardinal company has been around for a while, it hasn't really been in the 2011 space per se. A lot of people hadn't heard of it, and they're right at that like $6,000 price point. But here's what I would say is Cardinal is a sister company and is owned by a company that supplies and manufactures guns and parts for the likes of Fowler, for the likes of TTI, and many, many others. And they've been around for a long time. So I think that's one of the exceptions to the rules. But I've seen other companies where, like I said, I've never heard of them, and all of a sudden they got a $6,000 gun that they're trying to market. And I just say, be careful. Be careful. Stephen Barnes. I just had issues with the car that came in, didn't even pick it up. Didn't even pick it up. The form, the FFL had to send it back. Yeah. And Akai is a brand that's been around a long time. But you may recall on the tiers that I did with Akai, I had them ranked lower because they have a reputation of being kind of up and down on their QC and on their customer service. Let's talk about the low end, and then we'll go to the middle, right? On the low end, fam, even on the low end, you guys can imagine how many times I get DM'd in a day or a week about my opinion about a certain 2011 gun or a certain 2011 manufacturer, right? Now you're talking to somebody who owns a ton, who spends probably more time than anybody in that space. When people are shooting me names I've never even heard of, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Somebody shot me a name of his 2011. I never heard of this. It was a $1,500 gun. I was like, I didn't even heard of this company before. More and more, everybody is jumping into that bandwagon. Now, if you're paying $1,500 or less and it's more budget friendly, okay. But what I would say is there's a lot of proven performers or more proven performers in that space. I would look out. If you're only going to buy one, I wouldn't go for just sizzle, or they made a gun that looked good. I would go for one where there's a lot of reviews out on it, where people have tested it, and you can have some confidence that the gun is going to operate properly. Dennis Dixon says he wants more than a 1-year warranty on any gun. I agree with that, Dennis, but what I would also say is some of these fly-by-night companies, a warranty doesn't do you any good if the company doesn't exist anymore. So just be aware of that. John Gray says, I don't think any of the 2011s these days will be passed down and still be cool. I don't think any of the 2011s these days will pass through. The same as Grandpa's coat is a recognized. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, like it's not a cool gun. Well, that's fine if it's not cool or whatever, but it runs like a Dickens, then I think that's okay. That's what I would say. You know, like if I'm paying that much money for a gun, I want to know that it's gonna work and there's gonna be a company there to support it. Manny T. All the guns I want, I can't find in stock. Hayes, Cobra, Vanta 9, FDE, Gersan Match X. I'm surprised you can't find the Gersan. Hayes, I get. I think Hayes is like at an 18-month back order. I think Covert, if they haven't already, they're about to stop taking orders because they're just so far behind. The Vanta 9 Fowler, I was very, very fortunate that I was able to get Fowler Vanta 9 this past week. But yeah, they're hard to get too. And when you get them, sometimes, especially if you're out here in California, the price is prohibitive. The Gersan Match X, I haven't been looking for that one. So that's the only thing about that. Hartley, that's a good question. Would you trust Miller Precision? Here's what gives me some confidence about Miller. They make some of the most widely used and respected grips in the 2011 space, and they've been around a long time doing that. I look at their gun manufacturing as an extension of what they do, right? Just like I looked at when Springfield dropped the Prodigy, you know, they didn't really, that was the first 2011 they had ever produced, but I knew the company and the name that they would stand behind their gun. I feel relatively confident that Miller will do the same. And as a company, they'll be in operation. And if the gun is warranty, even if they decide one day to stop making new ones, I'm assuming they would still support the existing ones that are out there in the wild. Stephen Barnes says European companies are starting to come into the market as well. So a lot of these Turkish companies are who is manufacturing these guns at the lower end. And that's how they're getting them for the price points that they're able to sell them for. If those guns were 100% manufactured here in the US, I think they'd be more expensive. So there's that. Okay, Thomas is saying the Match X is difficult to get to. I've been so consumed with other 2011s. The Match X is definitely one I wanted to check out. So if I can get a hold of one, or I can get you guys some information on the Match X, I will definitely try to do that. We'll try to get a review done on it, and if I can get an idea about timelines and time frames. But this is what happens, fam. Like, these gun companies manufacture these guns, and then they don't realize the demand, and they're not suited to meet the demand, and so that's how these wait times keep stacking up. I remember when RGG kind of teamed up with for the platypus, and they were turning stuff around in like 30 days, 45 days. Now the wait time is months for for platypus. So yeah, it's different. I agree. If you haven't seen the review for the comped and ported one that I did, make sure you check that out, Harley. That gun shoots incredible. And that's why I have one on the way. I told Miller I better be the first person to receive that gun when they drop. I got to holler at my guy, as a matter of fact. Silverback trying to be funny, y'all. Silverback is out here making jokey jokes. That's like asking when did the War of 1812 start? Yeah. Okay, he's saying John Gray says he has a set of Icarus grips on my 20th. I have the TTI Icarus grips on my Sand Viper and Pit Viper. I love the way they feel. It totally transformed those two guns for me. Dennis Dixon, thanks for joining the fam. Although I thought you were already a member, but I appreciate you, fam. I appreciate you. Manny T says currently he has an Erebus and a Prodigy 4.25 comp. Next, I'm building one. I just ordered the Chile frame, grip, and Atlas. Need to decide on a barrel, but I think it's going to be fun. Man, Manny, you got to keep us updated on how that's going, bro. Oh, had to renew. Got you. Got you. Much appreciated, fam. Much appreciated. So that's kind of the lower end, fam. Look, on the lower end and the high end of the spectrum, what I would generally say is that there is enough good proven guns in both of those areas where you don't necessarily have to be pressed about, going with an unknown. Let these things cook. Let them marinate. Don't feel like you got to be the first one out there and jump out on a limb and buy something. And like I said, a lot of these guns may be, it may be a good looking gun, a design, but it's not made well, right? So make sure you got some data points before you spend your hard-earned money on companies that are not around. Fam, it hasn't been that long. Like, I think I bought my first 2011 was my Staccato P. I think I bought that like 2.5 years ago, something like that. Fam, at that time, there was Staccato, there was Infinity, there was Bull Armory, Rock Island Army had kind of a semi double stack 1911. Obviously, Atlas. I don't know if I said Atlas already. And then obviously there were some custom gun manufacturers out there, right? Now, fam, when I did my tiers this last time, there were over 48 gun manufacturers making 2011s. And it's more now. And just this, I did my tiers, what, like a month ago? In that month time, there's more. There's more. So look, fam, I'm just be cautious. Be cautious. Hold on. What 2011 would you pick from your collection? Stuff hit the fan. That would be very difficult. I've said hardly. Let me put up that question. I've said hardly that my Atlas Apollo was a great, probably my best all around kind of gun, but I don't know, man. I've added some winners. I got that Fowler Vanta 9 now. That would be a candidate. I got that Combat Precision GT Dark Horse. That gun is crazy. That would be a consideration. I don't know, fam. That would be tough. I got a lot of I got my Race City Defense RC9. Crazy. I got my Masterpiece arms, the new Masterpiece arms. Comp gun. Crazy. So I don't know. I don't know. But that'll probably be a video at the end of the year that I'll do towards the end of the year after all my pickups for this year have landed. The Miller Precision would be in there too. Anyone going for the Infinity drop next week? The Ghost looks sweet. Yeah. Infinity makes great. So I got 2 more Infinities coming this year. I got the Viscount coming. I got the Iconic coming. I don't think I'm picking up one from this drop. But yeah. I think probably I'm going to pick up like one Infinity a year or something like that. Steve said, you got a 7-month wait for your dart. Look, what's crazy is that ain't bad. What's crazy, Steven, is that's not bad because I'm telling you, it's whoo. And a lot of times, so covert oftentimes gets a lot of flack because guns don't come in when they say they're going to come in. But I've literally been there when a manufacturer, covert will be on the phone with a manufacturer, and they'll be like, we're going to ship you guns in 60 days. And then covert will talk to the customer and say, your gun should be in within 90 days, trying to give a little buffer, right? And then the gun don't come in for 6 months. So fam, and sometimes it's not even the builders. Like I've got another Venom Customs gun coming, but Venom has been waiting for island barrels. They ordered island barrels in January and they still haven't come in yet. So a lot of times it's the parts that they're waiting on, or the coatings are backed up, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, this 2011 space is not for the faint at heart, y'all. It is not for the faint at heart. I would be stuck looking at my wall, hardly 100%. Like, damn. Okay, Grand OSO said he's going for the Ghost. That's a nice gun. If I remember correctly, hold up, let me pull up the Ghost. I think I know which one that is. I don't know why it's just not popping up. Oh, there it is. There we go. Yeah. So the Ghost is a beautiful gun. I would probably get the Ghost, but it has a lot of baby monster vibes to me, and I already have the baby monster, so that's why I didn't choose that one. But infinity is infinity. Howard Jizzle, what's cracking, fam? Yeah, Steven said in his early days he was getting frustrated with covert. Yeah, Steven, it's not them, man. They do everything they can to try to hold these manufacturers accountable, but sometimes it's the supply chain. Sometimes these manufacturers are just whatever. And just know, man, when Covert's putting out a lot of money for these guns and they're sitting around waiting like you're waiting, they don't get paid till the guns come in, right? So they want to get the guns in as fast as you do. Yeah, I didn't like his strategic work. I handled it at SHOT Show. I wasn't a fan. I think Thomas said earlier that it's greed, it's a money grab. I think there's a lot of that out there. I think there's a lot of that at play. J3GS, what's good, fam? Good seeing you. Good seeing you. John Gray says, patience is the key. 100%. 100%. Look, fam, I just had this experience the other day. So I really wanted to add a Fowler to my collection, and I had I'm a member of the Fowler Discord, and so a lot of times when they're about to do a drop, they'll give the Discord a heads up. So I knew a drop was coming, but the drop had to go through. If you were in California, if you were outside of California, you could order from them directly. If you're in California, you had to go through the one California dealer that they had out here, and with add-ons and California excise tax and this, that, and other thing, like a $6,000 gun was going to be like over like 8,500, right? And I was like, 8,500, I'm gonna throw away from an Infinity. Like I would probably get another Infinity, right? So I was patient. I pulled myself back when all my instincts were saying, just get it. I pulled myself back and was able to locate one kind of via consignment situation that, and I was able to get it for MSRP. So sometimes, fam, patience is what's required. And I would say that too about some of these newfangled gun companies that are coming out. Make sure you are patient. Make sure you take your time. Wait for them to be enough data point. It's like when that new hot car model comes out and everybody wants it, and they always say, don't get the first gen, right? Wait till the second gen comes out. We saw that with the Springfield Prodigy and all the issues that it has, and they seem to work through them nicely. So for all these new guns that are coming into the market and new gun companies, yeah, give it some time, let it breathe. I mean, Watchtower has been around forever. I mean, they were formerly F1, right? They've been around forever and a day. And look at what's going on with them. And so, yeah, you just gotta be patient. See, Mara said, patience isn't my strength. I feel you. I feel you. Ramsey Jizzle in the building. Ramsey J, what's good, fam? Dennis said he can't do the ghost. He had to buy his grandkid a car. Noted. That's very important. Family first. Yeah. Kev, you're not right for that one. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying you're not right. That's all. It does move me, and I've got one on the way. I've got one on the way. Now, that's one where obviously Cabot owns Alchemy and Cabot's been making 1911s forever. Alchemy's been making 1911, 2011s forever. I like the Insurrection when I first saw it at SHOT Show like 2 years ago. I thought it was one of the best made guns at SHOT Show, but they are hard to get a hold of, fam. Particularly in California where everything is hard to get a hold of. But they're hard to get a hold of. But I do have one on the way. Coy, go mob. Good seeing you, Fred, as always. Looking forward to hanging out with you in the ATL in a few. Grand OSO said the platypus was on his radar when it came out, but he wanted to wait a little while before it committed. That's understandable. I think that was smart. But I will say this. Stealth Arms appears to have really got their act together, man, where they came out, they produced a good quality gun. For the most part, I have heard of very few people having issues with them. And it seems like they got a good manufacturing process. So I'm glad that that's the case. I just think they're struggling to keep up with demand. Yoki Stirrup, my sis is in the building. Sis, miss you indeed. Hope everybody is doing well. Happy Easter, fam. I forgot to say happy Easter to everybody. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful Easter holiday. Yeah, I realized the ownership change, but I mean, still the company has been around. So you would think that, they have a better handle on things, but obviously they're struggling a bit. Gino Arnello, salute. Hey, you. Unfortunately, no. I had a long talk with Bull Armory when I was at SHOT Show. I mean, I pulled up a chair at the Bull Armory booth and I was like, hey, look, when are we going to get something in California? And he had no sympathy for it, brother. He was like, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. So no time soon, my man. No time soon. For that to happen, what I think is going to happen is that the handgun roster is going to have to be abolished. And there's some court cases that are very close to the Supreme Court. We don't know if they're going to take them up or not, but I think that's what's going to have to happen. Johnny Clyde, salute. David Garcia, thanks so much. Okay, David, you want to kick over the hornet's nest. Here's what I will tell you about the Sand Viper. I'm going to move price to the side for a moment and just talk about the firearm. Aesthetically, I think the Sand Viper is one of the best looking guns, best looking 2011s out there, aesthetically. From a shootability perspective, how it shoots, how it feels to shoot it. It's accurate, it's fast, it's relatively soft shooting, depending on what you're accustomed to shooting. It's won multiple two-gun championships. So it's a shooter. It's a good gun. Now, let me get to the criticism that it gets. A lot of people feel like the componentry and the fit and finish of the gun do not match the price. And I think there is something to that. The thing that kind of counterbalances it for me, and that would be a consideration for me if I'm buying one. The thing that counterbalances it for me is that because of Taran Butler and Taran Tactical and his affiliation with entertainment, film, and television, his guns retain and gain value better than any other 2011s in the marketplace. And so I could sell my Sand Viper and my Pit Viper today for probably $2,000 to $4,000 more than I paid for them each. So that's what I would say. I think that's an honest review from people who are not over emotional. I'm not over emotional about these guns. In any 2011. I'm just, so it is what it is. Thinking of getting it for USPSA. Okay. I'm assuming you're going to run open because of the comp, the magwell, and the comp, the magwell, and the optic. Coy said he doesn't like the look of Cabot. The Insurrection Coy or just Cabot in general? Because I'm cool with the way the Insurrection looks. Cabots in general are very ornate. They're more like kind of showpieces. Not that they aren't functional, but they look like you wouldn't want to shoot most Cabots. They're kind of designed to be in the display case. The Insurrection is something that I would run. Two-way veteran 77. Salute, armchair operator. My God, what's happening, fam? Yes. Right, Coy? That part. That part. Let me try to catch up. I think I'm a little. Ramsey J called it the Terran tax. There's no doubt about that. Do you think more and more 2011s will get external ejectors? Not that Staccato did it. Now that Staccato did it, I think it's a better design. Probably. Probably. I can see that happening. That's the other part. Well, CK Kev, it's funny you say that because my argument is whenever people tell me Terran tactical guns are overpriced, I ask how come they're always sold out then? If they're so overpriced and they're not worth it, how come he sells them out as soon as he produces one, it's sold, right? It is what it is. Yeah, I would agree. Like if I were just going to buy an $8,000 2011, I was only going to buy one, and I was willing to spend $8,000 on a 2011. The Terran Tactical Sand Viper, while I think it is a very good gun, would be way down on my list. And I should have probably said that earlier. So because you just asked me about the gun, you didn't ask in relation to anything else. But I would get an Atlas Erebus first. In fact, I would get any Atlas first. I would get an Infinity first, any Infinity. I would get a Venom Customs first. I would get a Hayes first. I would get a Rafferty first. There's a lot of guns that I would buy for USPSA before I would get a Sand Viper. As an investment, probably the best gun you can get. As just a shooter, it's a great shooting gun. You're not going to be disappointed with it, but there are much better guns for the price. I love my Pit Viper and Pew View, and Honest Outlaw says it's better than the Erebus. Yeah, Honest Outlaw is wrong about that. I saw that video. Well, he said it's just as good. It is not. I respectfully disagree with Honest Outlaw about that one. I think if you surveyed, 9 out of 10 people, 10 people, 9 out of 10 are going to tell you that the Erebus is superior to the Sand Viper in pretty much every way imaginable. And this is somebody that has a Pit Viper and a Sand Viper and an Erebus. So I don't have an emotional attachment to either of the three. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. Yeah, he said it was faster, not better. It's lighter. So here's the thing, too. Like a lot of people criticize the Sand Viper and Pit Viper when they first came out because they did not have metal grips. Um, they had that I forget what it's called, but whatever. They had that kind of sandpaper grip module, and it's not polymer. I forget what it's made out of. It's just slipping my mind for the minute. It'll come to me. But Kevlar or something like that, right? That was not by accident. Taryn is a competition shooter. He likes lighter weight guns when you're running and gunning and dragging them around. Taryn has the grip and the skill to be able to counteract the benefits you would gain from a heavier gun. But that's what the thought process was. Yes. I do too, Coy. I do too. And if that's what you're saying about Cabot, because it doesn't have the full dust cover. Yeah, I mean, they come from a 1911 kind of background. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Thomas. Yeah, 100%. Silverback. Are you saying Hayes and Watchtower look better than Vipers? I think that's personal preference. Um, I don't think the Watchtower guns, except for mine, of course, because I had it done crazy, just out of the box. I don't think the Watchtower guns look better than the Vipers. Um, Hayes is a very subtle kind of gun. So if you're the kind of person who likes your guns like classy and not flashy, then I could see why somebody would lean towards Hayes. That's a great question, fam. It's not that I don't have love for Nighthawk. A Nighthawk will find its way into my collection at some point. But the issue, I was just talking about it kind of with Bull Armory. Trying to get Nighthawks in California is tough. And I can't really explain why some gun manufacturers are willing to work with like high-end dealers and some are not. Like Staccato is not. It's not. The only reason why we get staccatos in California is because so many law enforcement officers buy them and then sell them. But you can't go into a store, even like a specialty store that specializes in single shot exemptions and other things like that in California and buy a staccato. It doesn't happen. And just it's very difficult to find Nighthawks out here. So it's not that I don't appreciate Nighthawks. It's not that I don't think they're a phenomenal company. When I did my tiers, I put them at the Hall of Fame level. I think Nighthawk makes a good firearm. They're just hard to source in California. But nothing but love for Nighthawk. Nothing but love. Stephen Barnes agreed with me. Yeah, one of the best looking guys. I agree, fam. Look. I give credit where credit is due. Taryn knows how to make a very attractive firearm, and in part because a lot of his guns are going to be featured in movies and things like that, so they need to look a certain way. So he's been very cognizant of that and good at that for a long time. No, Thomas, I'm not. Thomas said I'm attached to it in the sense that I think it's a phenomenal gun, but I got guns that are better than the Erebus right now. Right now. My Venom Customs, I feel, is as good, if not better, than the Erebus. My Rafferty Lucky Devil is better than the Erebus. It's just a phenomenal shooting gun. But I got no problem. If I think a gun is better, then it's better. It's just better. And I got several guns that are coming this year that I think are going to outperform the Arabs. And I'm hard for me to say that. hard for me to imagine that is what I should say. Yeah. Boshizi. Okay, look, fam. I don't look, it's been a long day for me. It's been a long month. And the week is just starting. I don't think I'm going to go full 2 hours. So I just a little heads up on that. But I got some more time. I did talk about the middle tier. So here's what I would say about all the new entries. I have been excited about a lot of the new players that are coming into that middle tier. I was excited when Watchtower landed. I was excited when Race City Defense landed. I think there are some good mid-tier 2011 manufacturers out there. I would just say be careful. Be careful about these. Like, for instance, Thomas was on my I did a video that dropped about Olight right before the live. And Thomas was saying that he had just gotten a Custom Works pistol, and he was very excited about it. If you guys aren't familiar with Custom Works, they're a small custom gun manufacturer. From everything that I've heard and been told, they make a very good firearm, particularly for at the price point. But he was saying he had to send it back because there was some coding issues. And when I did my tiers, even though I heard nothing but good things, I just felt like there wasn't a large enough sample size out there for me to elevate them over like role player level. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these companies are popping up, and I just caution. Do you think we are in the peak of the 2011 market, or what do you think they could do to make them better with new players? When you say the peak, do you mean the peak in terms of quality, or do you mean the peak in terms of the numbers of firearms? If you're talking about the peak in terms of quality, probably. I think what we may be able to see is being able to, I was hoping by all these new players coming in that you would see the high-end market start to come back down, but it's almost the opposite, because there's so many players out here and they are not manufacturing guns the way Atlas is, or Infinity is, or Venom is, or Rafferty is, or Combat Precision is. And so consequently, those guys realize that they can charge more. That's what I'm saying. With all these less expensive options, you would think that the top line offerings will come down, but they've gone up. I bought my Hayes Island Barrel ported for $6,500. It's $8,000 now. I bought my Atlas Erebus for like $6,250, $65. It's $8,000 now. I got my Venom for like $8, and it's probably going to be more like $9 or $10. Like, it's crazy out here in these streets. Yes, it is. Curtis Brown, I was just saying that kind of that mid-tier and the entry level, like that, the budget level is insane, man. It's just like, it's almost like too much. And it may not seem like it to you guys, but I have started to pull back a little bit. And now for me to buy a 2011, like for me to go out and for me to buy a $4,000 2011, it's almost like, for what? For what? Is it better than the 10 other $4,000 to $6,000 2011s that are already in my collection? If it's not, then I'm not doing it. And so what's been interesting, though, is because of my platform, a lot of 2011 manufacturers have created one-off kind of 2A NLA limited edition kinds of guns. I'll still review those guns for you guys because through my relationship with Covert and the manufacturers, they will get guns in my hands. So, like, I didn't buy the Hex because the Jacob Gray Hex because I already had a Covert limited edition 2011, and it was very similar to the Hex, but I reviewed it. So I'll continue to do that for you guys. But yeah, even I'm pulling back a bit. Fam, you scored Hayes the custom. No, it is not still number one. It is not. The Rafferty Lucky Devil supplanted that. Also, the Infinity Baby Monster supplanted the Hayes. Both of those guns got higher ratings than the Hayes did. And I would say this, Silverback, the Hayes, even though it had the highest rating, the reason why it got elevated, got a bump, is because of the price point. Where most of these guns were getting zeros or ones, the Hayes got like a 2 or 3 for affordability, because at that $6,500 mark for what you're getting, you were getting a lot of money. Now at $8,000, like if I re-reviewed the Hayes today, it would be lower because I would only give it like a 1 for affordability. So keep that in mind too. Lonnie, it's funny you say that. So I have an Atlas Artemis, and that's my competition pistol. The Artemis is awesome. And if you're running limited optics in USPSA, I don't know if there's a better limited optics gun than the Atlas Artemis, if I'm keeping it 100. That gun is special. Special. Perfectly balanced, fast as all get out. It's got the sight block on it out front. Yeah, I love my Artemis. It's crazy. Has it changed? I don't know if my overall opinion has changed, armchair operator. What I will say though is that the scoring has changed. Like I've gone through and I've redone reviews on guns now that I have a bigger sample size and more perspective. Some guns that were higher, like I just brought up Hayes as an example. Hayes would score lower today than it did then because their prices rose. And some guns would get lower, some guns would maybe get higher, just depends. The Legion Precision Chirac, which is a great gun by any standards, their prices, like when I bought my Legion Precision, the 5-inch was $3,500. To be able to get an all metal gun with that quality construction and those parts for $3,500 was insane. But it's $4,500 now. And not only was it $3,500, but there were very few players playing in that middle market space. There was Phoenix Trinity, there was the Staccato XC, and there was Legion Precision, right? Now there's like 12 companies making $4,000 and $4,500 2011s in that space. And so I would look at it differently today because circumstances have changed. Okay. Mark D, no problem, my man. We appreciate you stopping by. Hey, Dan, we were just talking about that. So one of my guys, the 2011 collective has one. Thomas has one. My guy Bust Them Guns has one. Everybody's been telling me they're good, although Thomas just said he had a coding issue with his and he had to send it back. So I've been trying to talk to Covert about trying to establish a relationship with them. So we'll see. We'll see. That's a good question, my man. I don't know if people are separating themselves. What I would do, Curtis, I did a video on kind of the best mid-tier firearms out there. I would go back and look at that video. I'm going to do another one towards the end of this year. I feel like they're bunched up. I think there's slight nuances between a lot of the guns. And I'm sure I'm going to forget something, but you got the Watchtower line that's there. You've got the Combat Precisions that are there. You've got the Staccato XCs that are there. You've got the Race City 9s that are there. Fowler is kind of there, although they're at the higher end of that kind of. There's a lot of there's like I said, there's like 10 different companies. Miller Precision is going to be there. It's a lot of guns, a lot of really good guns in that space, which is why I would not choose some kind of fly-by-night company. I don't care how cool the gun looks in that space. There are too many really, really good gun manufacturers in that space. Coy said mid-tier. So Coy, that's a good question too. So I've had to redefine it with the advent of the budget 2011. So here's how I've defined it now. 1500 less, I'm calling those budget 2011s. I'm not saying that they're cheap or anything like that. I just need a name for the category. So I'm calling those budget 2011s. Kind of like 1500 to 3500 or 2000 to 3500, where your bull armories exist, where your masterpiece arms exist, where your most of the staccatos exist, where the Jacob Grays exist, where the voodoo priests exist. That's what I'm calling entry level. So you got budget, you got entry level, and then mid tier is kind of like 3,500, 4,000 to like 5,500 or so. And there's a ton of people in that space, a ton of people in that space. Well, Jacob Gray, the cheapest Jacob Gray is 2,500. The Hex and the limited edition, those are more like 3,200. I'm calling those still entry level guns. I'm not comparing a Jacob Gray to a Staccato XC or to a Race City 9 Defense. They're not that to me. Or Phoenix Trinity, any of these other mid-tier firearms. I love Jacob Gray. I think I told the story that I was kind of instrumental in bringing Jacob Gray into California because I felt like it was an all-metal gun, really, really well machined, good trigger at $2,500 price point. I felt like they should be eating Staccato's lunch, especially like the P, the C2, the C, the CS, all those kind of $2,500 guns. So I'm calling that entry level. I'm not calling that mid tier. But it's all verbiage. But what I'm calling entry level is kind of 1,500 to 3,500, and then mid tier is like 3,500 to 5,500 or 4 to 6, somewhere in there. Well, so what I would say about that is some stores. One of the things that I love about Covert, because a lot of times these manufacturers will require like a 50% up front or something like that and 50% on the back end. What I love about Covert is Covert only requires $1,000 deposit, and then you don't pay for the gun till it comes. So they're even better. So be cognizant of that. If you didn't know that, 1911 Nighthawk, and I'm not sure where you're located, but Covert ships nationwide. So if there's a gun that you want, a manufacturer or a gun that you want that they carry, that's something to consider. The TBG, salute. Stephen Barnes, yep, that's just what I was saying. Fam, fam, I love it. I love it. I've had the chance to handle it. I'll be doing a review on it probably, let's call it in the next 30 to 45 days, but I'll have my own in my hands probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Mine is a little different. Oh, you know how your boy gets down. But yeah, I think, look, it's not a name that people have heard of. So I think initially people thought that they were kind of a fly by night company, but they are the sister company to a very significant manufacturer that does white label manufacturings for 2011s that are very, very well known. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not here to put people's business out in the street, but it's a winner. It's a winner. I would say that it is high. I don't want to speak too soon until I review it, but the quality is very, very high. Very, very high. I put it right up there with the Fowlers of the world and other guns like that. She says she can't believe she's struggling on where to spend $5K on a firearm. No, that's not budget. 5K is not budget, Siege. 5K is mid-tier. So you're right in the Siege. There is 5 or 6 guns in that mid-tier. Any one of them would be awesome. I told you to hit me up and I'll walk you through it. But yeah, for sure, for sure. There are some awesome, awesome 5Gs for less than 5G. I'd say from $4,000 to $5,000. Like if you get a $4,000 and then you factor in, you're gonna put an optic on it and a gun and a light or whatever the case may be. Yeah, no, see, including tax and everything, all in 5,000. Like, no, there are some excellent options in that space. Excellent, excellent, 100%. Hit me up, sis. You got my info. Stop playing. I agree. I would agree, Cinematic. Hey, and I don't think I said hello. Cinematic, salute, fam. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. Yes, I think the Voodoo Priest and Masterpiece Arms, those are great value guns. Still. Now, the Voodoo Priest is kind of hard to come by. They're way behind. And I think in their haste, I think there was an ownership change and some other things going on. So I think kind of they're way behind on production and some of their QC has been a little spotty as of late, but I'm sure they'll get that back on track. I think those are great guns. Great guns. You know, I just picked up the Masterpiece Arms TC, the comped version. That's like staccato XC-ish. And I'm going to do that gun crazy. Bam. I'm not going to say too much now, but wait till you see my Masterpiece Arms when it's done. When I get it, I'm going to do an initial impressions video. I'm going to do a review on it in its factory format. And then I'm sending that gun out. And stand by. That's all I'm going to say about that. Stand by. They do, Coy. They certainly do. Yeah. Hey, Major Havoc, are you saying that there's only a 90-day wait for the Venom quad port. Look, that's phenomenal. If that's the case, that's phenomenal. Are you ordering that direct, or are you using one of your little, Major Havoc is very connected in the industry. I'll just know that. Usually Infinity wants 50% of whatever the gun price is. So if the gun is $8,500, like for instance, the Wasted Rainbow, that's the first one. That's a $9,000 gun. So you're going to have to put $4,500 down deposit. Man, see? Look, man, I don't even have to answer the questions. My chat is so knowledgeable. Half the time you guys have already given the answer. Yes. I just did the initial impressions video, right? In the morning. In the morning. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me go to my video. I'm glad you said something because I forgot to put it up for premiere. It's airing at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. So the full review will be out tomorrow, fam. So, cinematic. I'm torn here. I'm torn here. So I agree that the drop system is imperfect, right? But when they were doing 100% custom guns, they could not do nearly as many, and they were taking twice as long. And they were more expensive. So I don't know, like the drop system is not ideal, certainly, but I feel like at the same time, they're getting by the end of this year, I'll have 3 Infinities. If this was an old system, no way I would have 3 in that time. No way. No way. So I'm not mad at them. They're getting more Infinities in people's hands. They're just not custom. I don't know. Ah! Strategic work. You gotta wait and see, my man. Major Havoc's gonna have a cardinal in his hands. Oh, he had one in his hands Saturday. Very, very impressive. Yeah. No. Look, fam. Don't sleep. When Covert dropped that cardinal pick, and it was like $6,000, and it hit Reddit, and it hit some of the Discords. All people, hey, you're $6,000, and never ever heard of. Okay, now they singing a different tune. Now they are singing a different tune. Watch, don't sleep. If you guys want a cardinal, now is the time to get it. Because I promise you, this is going to be the Hayes thing. Like when Hayes first came out in kind of more mass, like when they started being sold through retail outlets like Covert, the wait time was not that long. Now, 1.5 years. Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, Steven, I'm sure that was my boy Jeff at the Weapons Collective. Yes. Yes. And one of the reasons why they're very close is because I'm just going to say there is a lot of similar DNA in those 2 firearms. Just know that. Just know that those 2 firearms are very, very in close proximity to one another. I'm just going to say that. It's Cardinal Arms on Hayes level. That's the 2 I'm debating. Ooh! People say that it's Hayes level quality. I'm going to say that I don't feel comfortable saying that until I shoot it. So that's what I would tell you. So here's if I'm you, if I'm in your shoes, here's how I would approach it. If you want a gun faster, then Cardinal Arms is the way to go. If you don't mind the weight, then I'd say give me, 30 to 45 days or so to actually shoot it, run it, put 1,000 rounds plus through it, and then I'll be able to give you a much better. I feel comfortable saying that from a quality perspective, from a machining fit finish, that perspective, it is on par with a Fowler and all the kind of higher end mid tier guns. It's that at minimum. For me to put it up there with a Hayes, a Rafferty, a Venom, or hold on. Oh, hold the phone for that one. I'll let you know. With your experience high and go to 2011s, you said they hold their resale and even go up as an investment, or they're hard to sell since. No. So I think the only ones that really, well, no, I shouldn't say that. No, they hold their value. They definitely hold their value. And in some instances, depending on the condition of the gun, yeah, you can probably sell, depending on your environment and how accessible 2011. Like I could sell, because I'm in California, I could probably sell my Erebus for $12,000-$13,000. Just keeping it 100. That's how thirsty people are to get their hands on an Atlas. So I don't think if you're outside of the state of California, I don't think you're going to see that level of appreciation. But what I would say is you'll be able to sell it for what you bought it for sure. For sure, as long as it's in good condition. My man BP in the building. Happy birthday, fam. So here's my problem with this. It wouldn't be my choice, but I'll say this. It depends on the shooter. It depends on the shooter. Cats out here winning with canics. Cats are out here winning with canics, fam. So it depends on the shooter. Jay the Budget Gun Buyer, salute. My man Jay okay, so let me pay some bills real quickly, and then I'm gonna get into the giveaways. If you are not a member of the 2A NLA channel, you should be. You can tell if people are members because in the chat their things are in green, their names are in green. I do member giveaways twice a month, every live. I do at least one member giveaway, and I'll do non-member giveaways too, but the member giveaways are usually better. But I'm giving away, as of right now, the thought process is I'm giving away at least 3 guns this year. One will be a 2011, one will be an AR-15, and the other one we're just going to see. We're just going to see. But that's going to be member giveaway. So membership is only $3.99 a month. For that, you're eligible for all the member giveaways. I do members only content, all that stuff. So consider being a member. I think it is well worth it. If you win one prize, you pretty much paid for the membership, and most people have won. Even Gina versus Gina, who had never won. She may be the only person who's never won on my channel. Even she won last week. So yeah, fam, be a member. And I brought up Jay because Jay won my custom Walther PDP last year. Hey, BP, holler at your boy. You know I got my night vision set up. Holler at your boy. I may have some love, some recommendations for you. Oh, you think he was joking? Okay. Oh, you wish you could get it in 90 days. Oh, yeah. No. I thought you had found some hookup. I was about to say, oh, okay. Good stuff. I think I'm behind. Hold on, let me try to catch up. Hayes Custom, the 18-month lead time. Yep. Hey, she is Sunshine. Hey, sis. Glad to see you. Thanks for coming through. Drops are better for the masses, says Major Havoc. Would you say that Hayes Cobra is the next quality to price ratio? If not, it was when I bought my Hayes Cobra Island Barrel ported for $6,500. I felt like that gun. I'm not saying it's better than Venom. I'm not saying it's better than the Erebus. I'm not saying that it's better than Rafferty. But what I would say, it was comparable for $1,500 less. And now it costs just as much as they do. So I don't know at the higher end. I don't know where the value buys are, fam. I don't know. I would argue that the Combat Precision Dark Horse, the GT Dark Horse, which is about $6,500, with everything that's done to that gun, it's ported, it's comped, it's polished to the nines, it's really, really well. That might be the one. Cardinal might be the one. If it's coming in at that 6,000, I got to shoot it first though, so I can't really speak to it. Major Havoc thinks Hayes is still the winner. I don't know. At $8,000, if I got $8,000 and I can only buy one gun, I'm probably buying a Venom before I buy a Hayes. Probably. And that's no shot at Hayes. They're incredible. I mean, you win it either way, but I'm just saying. The TBG think Cardinal is better than Hayes. Hayes has ported options. The TBG, I think that to me, I would agree, but I think that depends on what you like. Like Hayes has a very classy, muted. I think I can, when I was talking about the Hayes and Venom, I said that Hayes is like a Rolls Royce and Venom is like a Lamborghini, like a sports car. So I just think it depends on what you like. Tactical Tina, hey sis, B Norm, salute. You think the Cardinal Arms looks like a Legion Precision, B Norm? I don't know. I gotta. Okay, so now you got my cue. So what I'm gonna do, B Norm, if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me. This Saturday, I gotta go to Covert anyway. This Saturday, I'm going to do a short with the Legion Precision Chirac and the Cardinal Arms right next to each other. So that'll be just for you. No, that's for you, fam. That is true. That is true. It is Major Havoc, but I would tell you, until you shoot a Venom Customs quad port, my man. Ha! Ha! Woo! Man. Not. Just saying. That Venom Customs quad port is a different animal. It's a different animal. All right. Come on, Al. Catch up. That part. 100%. 100%. It's the shooter. Yeah, Coy saying he can get $500, $600 more for his Atlas. Yeah, man, they do good. Grant, hey, appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you for show, for show. Stephen Barnes said he's checking the cushions in his couch to fund his membership. Look, fam, it is appreciated. TBG, you haven't won yet? You haven't even won, not even a patch or a keychain? I'm surprised, bro. Because you've been a member for a long time. All right, snap at you photography. Salute, fam. Welcome in. I'm trying to catch up, y'all. TBG said he would take the Venom before the Haze. I would too. I said that. That part. That part. 5K. And today, I don't know which version you have of it, but if it's the non-ported version, non-ported, non-island barrel, yeah, I think that gun is probably like 6K or something. 6K, 6,500 or something. It's a lot, fam. It's a lot. Because those are the only people that have them, Manny. You don't, stores don't carry them. That's really the only space you see them in. I think that's why. There's a lot of companies out there like that, like the Merciers of the world, the Chamber Customs of the world, the Sharns of the world, where, yeah, unless you're in that competition space and you're getting custom guns built, most people haven't heard of them. I try to bring light to them in my tiers by including them, but yeah. Joseph Harris, salute. Carnet Customs? No. No. I have not, Thomas. Uh yeah, it was heavy because it's, well, so they make an aluminum version and a steel version. My version is steel. So the aluminum version, but they do make an aluminum version that's lighter. Oh man, I finally caught up. Okay, so you got ported version of Haze with rose gold accent. Did you get the island barrel or no? Yeah, that gun will cost you way more than $5,000 now, my friend. Way more than 5 grand. That's what, for a while, Haze was the best bang for buck. Haze had GOAT level quality at mid-tier price points, and I think they realized that, and they said, yeah, I'm gonna make more. I'm gonna make more money. And they were, because of that, they were getting back ordered, and the times kept getting extended. Even with the higher price points, they are still back ordered like there's no tomorrow. Okay. The island said the island barrel wasn't out when he got here. Yeah. Indeed. Okay, so look, fam. Let's get into these giveaways real quick. First up, we're going to give away the Olight Duran pocket knife, as well as a 2A NLA patch and keychain. Let me do this. All right, now let me share screen. All right, fam. Put hashtag Olight in the chat for a chance to win the Olight Duran pocket knife. And if you guys didn't see it, hold on, man. This is a real nice light, man. It comes in this carrying case right here. Check that out, fam. That thing is all that. Life is all that. So whoever wins this is getting a good quality pocket knife. And do me a favor, fam. After the live, go back to my video that I just dropped at 4:45 for me. Just give me a thumbs up and drop a quick comment for me. I appreciate it. Also, you guys, if you want any Olight products, when you go to olight.com, use code 2ANLA, no dashes or anything, just 2ANLA, and you'll get a discount on any Olight product. And I don't make anything off that. I'm just telling you guys that for giveaway purposes. Gina, did you put hashtag Olight yet? You got to put that in the chat. X Factor 14, salute. I don't know if I saw you there earlier, but I apologize if I missed you. Some people just be hanging around in the weeds until the giveaway comes. Shout out to all those folks. I love y'all too. Appreciate y'all too. All right. Going in 5. Got to put hashtag Olight. Going in 4. Going in 3. Going in 2. Hey, bust them guns. Salute. Put hashtag Olight. Oh, you did already. Cool. All right, look. Let's get this party cracking. We going. Stephen Barnes. Congrats, fam. Stephen, I think you won before. Look, fam, I got multiple time winners up in here. So, Stephen, you got your Olight coming, my man. Your Olight Duran pocket knife coming. Just go to 2ANLA@gmail.com, TWOANLA@gmail.com, and give me your address information, and I will get this out to you before the next live. Look, fam, I apologize. I was a little slow in getting stuff out, but I've gotten everything out that needs to go out. And so I'm going to do better and make sure by the next live, that's always my goal, to get it mailed within the 2 weeks. So congrats to my man, Steven, on winning the Olight folding pocket knife, the Duran. All right. All right, next up, I'm giving away the Olight Baton 4, and this is a little fly thing, fam. So this thing kicks off 1,300 lumens, and it's in a little case like that, right? You open it up, and then you've got the light in there, right? It'll tell you the charge level there. Fam, look, this is a good, something great to like keep in your car or something like that, and you need that emergency light for whatever. This one's going to hit the spot. Also, you also get a 2A NLA patch and a 2A NLA keychain. Hey, you guys come to ARM 5. I'm going to be giving away a lot of patches and keychains. All right. Just know that I got to see. There's so much stuff going on, fam. Maybe I'll have some merch for giveaways too. All right, let me present. Let me share screen. All right, fam. So look, this next one is for, like I said, the Olight Baton 4 case. This is a member only giveaway. So I before the live, I put all the members on there. Now, if you become a member during the live, then you're not eligible till the next one. So just be aware of that. All right. Let's go ahead and let's get this thing popping, y'all. Let's go. Is Stephen Barnes going to win again? No. B Norm, congrats, fam. Congratulations. B Norm. So go to 2TWOANLA at gmail.com. Send me your information, and I will mail out you your Baton 4 as well as your keychain and patch. All right, fam. Well, look, I said I wasn't gonna go long, but I'm right around 2 hours, so I think I did pretty good. You guys always give me some energy, so I appreciate you. But I'm getting ready to shut it down, fam. I'm going to relax. I got a crazy week. Look, fam, I got some heaters in terms of reviews and videos that are going to be coming out over the next several weeks. So the Jacob Gray Hex review is dropping tomorrow. Next week, we're going to be doing Terran Tactical and Covert's latest pistol review, brace pistol review. We got my review of the H&K SP5K, my custom one, coming soon. I'm going to be revisiting the Artemis, the Apollo. I'm going to do my review on my Cossaint, my brand new Cossaint Arms 3.5-inch ported gun, comp gun. So look, fam, I got a lot of hot stuff coming. So make sure you guys are tuned into the channel. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you do, because my Instagram folks know before my YouTube folks about new guns that are coming, because I always drop there first. No doubt, BTG, the Cardinal is sexy, without a doubt. All right, that's it for tonight, fam. Until next time, as always, take care of one another, y'all. Peace. Love y'all.